We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And today I am doing my first ever live interview with my friend Ed. Hi, Ed.
Hey, everybody.
Hi. So, Ed and I have known each other for quite a few years, and Ed has always been ahead of me on everything. He started judo and jujitsu before I did, made me feel bad about myself. So, I had to go join a jujitsu gym, and he also had a heart attack before I did. So that's what we're here to talk about. And his story is quite a bit different than mine. So I want to hear about his incident and his recovery and how he's been doing since and how that has impacted his life. And so, Ed, I want you to kind of tell the story. So you were doing at the time, were you still doing judo and jujitsu, or you had just narrowed it down to jujitsu? Because you started
No,
in judo, right?
yeah, I started in judo. I did judo and jujitsu until I hurt my neck.
Right.
Um, Coming up 3 years now and in a couple of weeks. Right now, 3 years ago, we were probably, talking about the judo or the jujitsu competition in Ohio
Oh yeah, in
that we were,
Toledo. Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff. So one you got lucky on
Yeah.
was jacked up.
Well,
Um,
here's the story on that is Ed and I went to the same jujitsu tournament in Toledo. It was the Ohio grappling, I forget what it is. But it was the one where there wound up being four people. I think originally there were five, but one person didn't show up. So there were four people who were all over 50, and we were all in different weight classes. And so they didn't know what to do with us. So they built an absolute category, and we all went and competed in there. And I didn't have to grapple with Ed. So we both grappled the other guys. But you were doing that with, and at the time you didn't know you had like a
didn't
fractured vertebrae or something in your neck, right?
Pretty much, yeah. I had a severely herniated disc, and actually, it was squashing my spinal cord and everything like that. So I ended
Yikes.
up having emergency surgery on that coming up here in a few weeks. It'll be 3 years that I had emergency surgery on my neck, and I had a cage put in from C5, C6, and fused from C4 to C7.
Yeah. And you
And
grappled twice in that tournament with your neck in that condition because you didn't know. You just knew your neck hurt, right?
yeah, I thought I had a pinched nerve uh, in my neck, and yeah, so I couldn't move my neck. My neck was literally like there's a picture of us
Yeah.
in my
Oh, I
neck,
find that I'll find that picture and I'll maybe I'll put it up there.
yeah,
But yeah.
and yeah, well, the thing of it, I actually competed again afterwards and stuff at Fuji in Ann Arbor, like the week later, uh, and stuff like that too. And yeah,
Wow.
then I went to a doctor, and they're just like, you need to get an MRI on this, and had to fight with my insurance company for a while, and and then they finally agreed to do an MRI on my neck, and I had to go at 11 o'clock at night to get the MRI because that was the first thing available. And the doctor's like, bring your disc in, come in, tomorrow afternoon after you get it done, and we'll read what it says and everything like that. And 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting a call from the doctor's office saying, don't make the meeting or don't come to your appointment. Um, we're setting up an appointment for a neurosurgeon, and you got to go in and see him, stat.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh crap, and everything like that. So
Yeah.
uh, ended up seeing them, and he's like, we need to go in and operate immediately. And he's like asking his, physician's assistant, the one that does all the doctor stuff. And he's like, when's the soonest we can get him in? And then they're like, no, uh, nope, nope, no. And it's like, he can't wait that long. And then he's like, well, what about this date? And she's like, well, that's when you're on vacation. He goes, yeah, let's schedule him in for that. And that's when I knew that something was jacked up.
Yeah. If he's going to cancel vacation for that. Yeah.
Surgeon cancels his vacation to do your surgery, you did something wrong, and everything like that. So yeah, I ended up. I mean, my neck is fine now. I ended up having some nerve damage in my arms and my hands, which kind of stopped me from doing anything that I loved. I have no fine motor skills with my hands and everything like that. So I can't grip anything. It affected my tricep muscles. So I don't have any, like, I couldn't push a baby away from me if I wanted to, and everything like that. So slowly but surely, I'm starting to get some of that back. My tricep muscles are still, really hit. I can't build them up for anything stuff, but uh,
But you
that's
got
that was
you were awarded your blue belt after you had the neck surgery, right? It was after that. Um, you got your blue belt, which
yeah.
I haven't gotten yet. I still don't have I'm still just a lowly white belt, which I'll probably be until I'm 80, which is okay. It's fine if I ever go back, if I'm able to go back. But
Right. Well,
then,
I can legitimately say I didn't quit. I retired as a blue belt.
yeah, you're
Uh,
retired. That's just like my IBJJF record. I retired undefeated, so not everybody can say that.
I can't say that.
I
I got
only had two matches, but nobody needs to know that part. They just need to know that I retired undefeated. But how long ago? Okay, then we're going to fast forward a little bit because it was more recently.
yeah.
You weren't training. You were still out of training, but you were at your son Nolan's. You guys were just training, right? You weren't at a tournament. You were at
No, I had just brought him to the gym for training that night, and walked in. We drove in like we always did. It usually takes about an hour with all the construction now, and everything like that. We drove in, parked, walked in, and Nolan would usually take off and go talk with his friends and everything like that. And the judo coach was there, and judo's on Wednesdays and Saturdays. This was a Thursday, so started talking with him about what they had done the night before, um, and everything like that, because he would always talk with me over what they did and what was going on and everything like that, and having a conversation with him, and I turned to put our waters down, because class was about to start and everything went black. I just remember just going black and everything, and I woke up in Providence Hospital in Novi, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And
yeah.
I'm like, hey, what do you mean what's going on? They're
But
like, what's going on?
you had nothing before that. You just passed out just out of the blue. You didn't have that you can recall. You didn't have any like symptoms, any feelings. You didn't have any chest pains or arm pain, nothing.
Nope, I never did. Like I said, I woke up and at Providence, and they were looking at me, and I'm looking back at them, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're like, "Hey, what's going on with you?" And I'm like, "Well, I fainted. Why did you guys, why did you guys bring me to the hospital?" I just thought I passed out, and everything like that. And he goes, the EMT goes, "Well, you did a little bit more than pass out." He's like, "You had a cardiac arrest." And I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "Yeah, you had a cardiac arrest." And I'm like, "Okay," and everything like that. And I was like, "I remember, passing out." And the guy's like, he's like, "So you remember what you were doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I remember what I was doing." But I was talking to the judo coach, and we were talking about the training the night before and everything like that. And he goes, "What was the judo coach wearing?" And I'm like, peach shirt and khaki pants. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I'm like, why is that important? He goes, "'Cause we shouldn't even be having this conversation right now." He's like, you should either not be here or you should be on a respirator. And I'm like, I feel fine. And yeah, so they admitted me. I spent almost a week there. They did all kinds of tests because at first they couldn't even figure out what the heck was wrong with me.
Yeah.
They didn't know why. They're like, we're sure we'll come down to the conclusion. We'll figure out what the
Right. Yeah.
answer is. That you know,
Because your
and
heart stopped, right? You didn't have like a heart attack. Your heart stopped. Isn't that right? Is that what happened?
it didn't stop.
Not completely.
Not completely. The judo coach did. Uh, he did CPR on me and everything like that. I guess somebody else went and got one of those jump jumper
Yeah.
tools.
They got the jumper cables for you. The
Yeah,
AED, the automatic
that,
external defibrillator.
that was what hurt the worst, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It burned me, when they first did it. They burned me right in the center of my chest, and everything.
Oh,
Apparently, the only place where I have really thick hair is right there, and that's where they put the pad at, and they ended up giving me an electrical burn,
ow.
uh, right on my chest.
As if it wasn't bad
Uh,
enough already. Now they're trying to
yeah,
set you on fire too.
already. I was like, "Ow, that hurts," and they're like, "Well, yeah, it's gonna hurt." They did a lot of pushing on you and everything like that, and I'm like, "No, that burned." And then, they like, and they're looking at me and they're like, "Oh yeah, you got like an electrical burn." Now I had one on my back and one on my chest and everything like that. So I was like, that hurts the worst and stuff. So I spent almost a week there. They finally found out that I had blockage. Two of my arteries were almost completely blocked. One was um, like I think it was like 90%, 85, 90% or something like that. And they said that it was back bleeding and feeding the other two, the other side of my heart, and everything like that. So and stuff. But they said I was like that forever, and I'm sitting there looking at them, and I'm like, dude, I did judo and jujitsu 6 days a week. I'm like, some days I was doing, you know, 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'd be going morning, going in the afternoon and then coming back at night and doing classes at night and stuff like that, um, and everything like that. And I was like, wouldn't I have had a heart attack then? I'm like,
Yeah, you
now
would
how much
think.
more
Yeah.
should it be, and stuff? And I'm like, then you're gonna tell me I did this just by walking in someplace, uh, and everything like that and stuff. So
Yeah, I was just mowing the lawn. Yeah, because I wasn't doing jujitsu class. I wasn't doing karate class. I wasn't working out in the basement gym. I was
yeah,
just mowing the lawn, and boom, it hit me. So I don't know.
We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.